All right, DeAndre. So I want to talk to you about what it was like. First of all, how did you find us?
Well, man, I actually found you guys through my wife. She does a lot of Facebooking and reading through material, so she sent it to me just to kind of see if it actually was legit. A lot of times if she comes across anything that she is interested in but she has some skepticism about, she'll send it to me to actually see if it's legit. She sent it to me, I looked at it, went through all the videos. I'd be honest, tried to disprove it for about a week or two myself, and couldn't. And just going off the previous principles, looking at the HELOC calculator, and the numbers were the numbers, finally set up an appointment to reach out to you guys, and Michael called me back, and that's kind of how we got going.
Cool. So how did you perceive, before you hired us, you and Yvette hired us, how did you perceive us? I mean, obviously you were talking about, you were doing research and you're looking at the numbers made sense, but what were you thinking? What was your perception of Replace Your Mortgage prior to hiring us?
I figured it was too good to be true, to be honest with you, man. Like, just because it's not something, when you talk about generations of people, I never heard it through my parents. They never mentioned anything about a quicker way to pay. It was either 30 year, 15 year, and now it's, I guess, 10. But it was never anything about, paying it off in the time frames that I had heard, in Michael's videos. So I knew it had to be a catch or a gimmick or something like that. Yeah. So that's just honestly, we thought it was too good to be true.
Gotcha. Yeah. Talk to me about what it was like after you decided to hire us, and why did you decide to hire us? First of all, let's talk. Not forget the experience for just a second. Why did you actually want to hire us? Why didn't you just do this on your own?
Well, I think once I started to understand what it was and have a conversation, initially having the conversation with Michael, I realized that it was some things that he knew that I just didn't know. And I had tried to have a couple conversations with a few bankers, and it always ended up in me going back to Michael and saying, hey man, or shooting him an email like, hey, this is what they asked for, what is this? Is this the right one? And I just realized it was a job in itself, trying to, have these conversations with bankers, and they were telling me, about different products and even trying to sway me against the product. Instead of getting the HELOC, they saying, hey, you might just want to look at doing a traditional refi, or, just lower your interest rate, or, make an extra monthly payment to pay it off faster or something like that. So that's kind of how we ended up, with you guys.
Gotcha. All right, so what happened after you handed us money, became a client? What was the experience then, afterwards?
So at that point, we basically, went through the courses, watched the videos, and as it relates to the package that we got, it was the gold package. So we had the information, then it was up to us to actually go out and execute it. And I can honestly say it was one of the most challenging things for me to do. Of course, I had a little bit different vantage point because I had been contacting Michael prior to 2 years to right before you guys kind of blew up, as I would say.
Right.
So he had a lot more time to actually give me a few tricks of the trade, that made it a little bit easier. But even during our most recent process, I reached out to you in frustration, like, hey man, like, this is not working, right? And it was based off of the product I had selected. But well, let me clarify that. So you were maybe wanting some more coaching, is what it was. Yeah, it was just
because the gold package is for people that maybe it's kind of, we call it the do-it-yourself package, and then the platinum package, you get more access to Michael and everything. So
right.
It's all right clarifying that.
And that's just exactly what it was. It was when you're going through this process and you're doing it yourself, you're doing everything yourself, literally. And I mean, from calls to getting the documentation, reviewing your own documentation. And when you think you have it all right, and they tell you, no, we can't approve you when you have the right credit scores and you have the right debt to income ratios, and you don't know, you don't have that information, it becomes a little bit harder to feel like, I can easily see why somebody would get discouraged and say this doesn't work. And it's not, because you have to do a lot of different things on top of managing your own documentation. You actually have to educate some of the bankers at what they actually have. So, you know, we went through a process where we were pretty much told no 4 times. And because I was persistent enough to ask them to show me why they were telling me no, they couldn't say no anymore, and we ended up getting a HELOC. We ended up closing on it.
So it's December 31st, 2016 as we're recording this, and you guys just closed on your HELOC yesterday.
Yep.
Okay, so here's why I wanted to record a video testimonial. Obviously, you've had success with a program. You closed on it and you used all the information that we taught you and all that. You obviously haven't paid off your home yet because you just started or whatever. But here's why I wanted to record a video with you, because we get that question, not a lot anymore, but we'll get people that say, well, why are you charging for education or a course or whatever, membership, when we can just go do this on our own? And we won't tell the whole story because it's long, but when you were telling me yesterday about the process, it was insane. And if you didn't have our education, I mean, it would have been terrible.
If I hadn't have been fortunate enough to meet you guys early on and have that experience for where I think, and I say this all the time, where Michael kind of used me as one of the guinea pigs, I would have been, you know, dead in the water when they told me no the first time. I wouldn't have known what to ask. I wouldn't have known how to ask them for as it relates to us. One of the things that Michael told me when I first met you guys, that they calculate deferred student loans 1% of the total balance. So that means they were calculating my wife's student loan almost $2,000 more than it was even supposed to, even more than she pays. And I would have never known to ask that because I have never been on that side of the bank. And so sure enough, they were calculating that, which gave us a much higher debt to income ratio than we really had. But that's what they were basing some of their decision off of.
Right.
So things like that, it would have made my process, you know, much harder, and I would have felt like it didn't work. But having that information, having that knowledge, and even having that knowledge, it's a full-time job to be on the phone with these people. And if you have a job, if you got anything, kids, you know, to be on the phone with bankers trying to educate them on products that they have and don't understand is like a full-time job. So you're going to drop the ball somewhere, be it with your HELOC, or you're going to drop the ball with your job. You're going to drop the ball somewhere. So having somebody that can actually guide you through the process, will I certainly believe will remove any of those frustrations. And then you kind of have, you know, that go-between and that reassurance of somebody checking, you know, on documentations. Like I said, my process was a lot different than I'm pretty sure most people, just because when I met you guys,
we're still very young.
You know, I met you guys then, and then I became a member recently, but you know, we were always in contact. But I think that process in itself helped me, but it is not at all easy. I think it can be done, but you definitely have to make sure you understand what you're asking for, and if your situation is not cookie cutter, it will be challenging. It will be more challenging than you think it will be.
Cool. One last question. So would you recommend replace your mortgage to your friends and family and all that? And if so, why?
Well, yes, absolutely, yes. I've been doing that before.
You've actually referred us a handful of clients already.
Before I even became a member, man. I really just believe in it. I think it's one of those things where everybody realizes, you know, that your home is your biggest, you know, debt, and at some point you want it to be one of the biggest assets that you have. Replace your mortgage is definitely showing you how to actually leverage that money that you're putting in the dirt each month. And cash is king. In the world we live in, cash is king. If you can tap into that money and you're able to go and reinvest and create sleeping money, make your money work for while you sleep, I think that's a great thing. So the more people I can help share your product with and to help educate them, I think everybody, you know, will benefit from it. And I know we will.
That's cool. Awesome. Thank you again for sharing your story, and congratulations. It's been an awesome journey. And when I told Michael yesterday you closed, and he was just, God, he was ecstatic. So thank you for sharing your story.
Man, I appreciate you guys. Happy New Year.